and welcome to the first episode of Via the Void, a Warframe podcast that will be bi-weekly. So if you're watching this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/MAAD and that's two A's in the MAAD, it will be every other Tuesday. So we're doing the first Tuesday after TennoCon. We figured that was a good starting point. And boy, howdy was it, but we'll get to all that. With me each and every week will be my good friend, also from Talking Squid, our other podcast, and probably going to be more other things, but Age, and you can follow him at Age Night Road on Twitter.
Hello, friends. This should be fun. Very interesting.
Yeah, I figured we'd kind of break it down as like the stuff that like kind of led up to it, because even though we got to see a couple things clearer, like they've been pulling out all the stops for advertisement stuff that I've been that's what I was even more excited for. I'm like, they must have something if they're really hitting this ad stuff hard, which I think the first inkling of stuff was they were like, hey, go if you're in select theaters. I don't know if it was all I think it was just or not AMD, that's a graphics card, or AMC, sorry. So I was close, you know. I think it was AMC theaters during the previews of Spider-Man Far From Home. They were going to show off something, and it actually originally was shaky cam, but as you can see here at TennoCon, they showed off the full or the non-shaky cam version. But it is basically the kind of new player, or like it seems like it's going to be the scene that you're going to see like maybe when you start the game. I think right now you kind of get one where Vor is kind of stealing stuff and breaks open your Warframes thing, but it seems like this might replace that, because they did then go into at TennoCon more about the new player story thing, and I have already heard that just like last time, I guess when they updated with the Vor stuff, if you are a player currently that's already playing, you will be able to go back and play this as well. It'll give you an option to play it first time through type thing, so that's at least that's good. But I mean, fantastic, like when you're watching this, just fantastic job.
Yeah, I really like the aesthetic of it as well. It's the beginning of telling a story, and that's when I first started the game. It was like years ago, and there wasn't really a lore narrative really behind it that was like very visible, very tangible, I guess. And this kind of brings it into light. So you're like seeing all these different creatures coming after you. You see all the like these different animals that you have and ships, and there are many different types of frames now. So it's a very different game from like beta, and to be able to finally have something like this that improves the new player experience in terms of what this game is about, for more or less, it's pretty cool.
And I was like, can I saw one of the comments to this, and can I break everybody's heart here? Like, you see the Excalibur with the I always want to just call it the dog companion, but it's I'm bad with the names. I do apologize. But yeah, it's Kavak or Cavit. But I'm sure Chad will get us on it. But basically Kubro. Okay. As they show here, as you're watching this right now, how it turns to stone. Basically, someone was like, that dog probably waited, or that Kubro probably waited there the whole time for his master to come back. And everybody was like, oh, now all I can think about is the Futurama episode where Fry goes away and the dog basically waits years and years and years. And I'm like, ugh, right in the feels.
That's
Like,
pretty
how did
wild.
you just turn that into such a sad thing?
Oh, also this, the mag being able
Yeah.
to like house all the like collect all the bullets and then just send them right back. Apparently, that's a new
Yeah,
change.
I was gonna say they asked about it and was like, it's kind of weird because the mag can't really do that, and the kind of devs just kind of hinted at it will event like they're gonna I guess re. Did they say it was gonna be an augment or did they say it was gonna just function that way? I'm not sure. I want to say it was just gonna be native to the
Like,
thing.
yeah, it might be like one of our skills gets an update or changes, but
Yeah,
it's pretty
but
cool.
yeah, that will be nice. That you'll be able to just capture all the enemy bullets like that and send them back. But
Yeah. Oh man.
okay, Chad is saying they believe it's going to be native. I thought so, but I remember they were
Huh.
maybe that's what the guy asked was like, oh, is it going to be an augment? And then they were like, pretty sure it's going to be native. But yeah, and then you'll get to see some awesome Volt moves going on. But yeah, this is kind of showing off what I would assume is during the old war itself with the kind of like original looking Grenier. Later on, you'll see uh, some of the uh, Unhow, like some of his warrior type people,
Hmm.
kind of, which I would not mind seeing more of those, but I don't think that's how the story goes. Well, I mean, heck, when we get the stuff later, it seems like all bets might be off, um, but yeah, overall, it's just so interesting that they played this as a preview for of all things Spider-Man Far From Home, which a lot of people were probably gonna go see just this because they were saying how that movie was kind of cap off that Marvel arc type thing.
Hmm.
So people probably a lot of people saw um what was
Yeah.
it Endgame. So it's probably like, oh wait, there's gonna be like even more of a cap off like type thing. So I don't know. I would imagine I don't know box office prices, but yeah, I'm curious if they saw a little bit of a bump. Maybe more people trying to play it since it, as it says, play free. I mean, can't beat the price tag.
Yeah. I mean, especially like the way it starts, you think it's a movie, right? Or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh,
How it
this,
like zooms through space, but it's in the person's eye.
yeah.
And well, that's the funny thing. It was done by wasn't it the tap it here somewhere? Like he did other, I think, television shows and movies, and oh, I can't
Yeah.
find it. We have a lot
I
of
think,
information,
yeah, I think
but
it's just really cool.
yeah,
I wonder how it looks for someone who hasn't played the game. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
that is a very good question. Um, but that wasn't the only advertisement that we saw kind of surrounding TennoCon. They also did like a little bit of an ad. It was I just labeled it the Opticore ad. They basically went to what looks like New York and gave them a prop Opticore, as you can see here, that was rigged, and so were like a cop car and stuff that was like cut in half but kept together. And they were like, "Oh, just pose with the thing." They're like, "Pretend to aim at the car," and you'll see it starts to power up, and because they're like, "Whatever you do, don't pull the trigger." And then, but yeah, so it's pretty awesome, especially some of the reactions. Like there is, I think near the end, an old lady that just is like, she doesn't feel surprised or shocked or like kind of like, oh crap, I just broke. She's laughing and like, can I do more type thing. I'm like, oh boy, like,
It's like, she's an old lady. What are they gonna do? I mean,
well, she got that gun. Um,
yeah,
oh, and chat saying it was Dan Trachtenberg, who did that's it. Directed 10 Cloverfield Lane. I knew that. I trying to remember some of his other stuff, but thank you, chat. Yeah, this is the lady right here where she's just she's just loving it. But yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I think we're saying like, oh, it's cringy, it's um I don't know, I think it's harmless, additive fun.
Yeah, I thought it's a good one. It's like that's kind of like that's kind of the promo to like do this type of thing. There have been promos like this in the past, but and it's very interesting because like this is kind of like an old school one, so I don't really see this often. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool.
I don't know. It's just I've seen with some of the other games out there. It's like anybody that does stuff like this, it's like, oh, it's so cringy. It's like it's just a fun way to you know advertise to people that don't normally play, and that's a goal. It's not for the people that are playing already.
Yeah,
Yeah, chat saying it's harmless, but the opticore is sweet. Yeah, that would have been nice if there was like a contest to win that at like TennoCon or something.
oh man,
Maybe next year.
really nice.
Of course, they'd probably have to disable it because if it can do that to a car, you're
Hmm.
never getting that back on the airplane.
Oh man, pretty
But
sweet. Probably like get that 3D printed.
oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, I think it's the dog or something there with the goggles. I'm waiting for that to be more of a meme or something. I think I've already seen a couple, but definitely
That's
cute.
possible. There you go. Meme of dog.
Yeah,
That's
and
an
I know
optical,
dogs.
mini optical vendor.
But also at TennoCon, they actually revealed another contest, and holy crap, this is how you do a contest.
Oh
So
man,
it's basically a contest to, I believe it's what,
quarter of a
$25,000,
million.
quarter of a million. Okay, 250,000. My apologies. To towards going to for you to go to outer space. Now, granted, I think in the details it's like to the lower orbit thing, so it's technically outer space, but not like you're not going to the
Stratosphere.
International Space Station or something. Yeah, but
That's pretty dope though.
yeah, they're like basically want to be an actual space ninja. It's like what?
I'm like, you are sending people to space.
So actually, like it says on there, that began July 6th, and I guess the more you play too, it gives you other entries into it. But
Like this is a video game, right? This is damn.
yeah,
It's
and
pretty
sure
crazy.
enough, we'll be saying that later after all the stuff that they are going to be adding this coming up. But yeah, it's like it says there, it will end December 31st, 2019. But like I said, you can enter now or like when TennoCon was happening.
That's
But
pretty.
if you have not, I mean, $250,000. That's
You're sending someone to space. I would go to. I would. I'm probably not eligible, but I would go.
I, actually I want to
Space
go actually look at that. That'd be surprising if you're not eligible because I mean they are a Canadian company. It'd be surprising that.
does not matter.
Wow,
Yeah.
come on Canada, get on the ball.
Uh. But yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty insane. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um.
it's.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to just hit like I think that's brilliant because more than likely, just the idea, the headline of a game dev company is sending their player base to space type thing, like
Man.
that's gonna get people to click interested and be like, "Wow, Warframe! Oh, I'm gonna check it out." And I'm sure at that point, if they have like an interview or something, they're like, "Oh yeah, also in honor of all of our space combat, here, take a look at it." And like we will look at like a kind of montage of it because that thing was like 40 minutes. I still urge you to go watch that yourself because every bit is brilliant. I just try to pick out like the parts that show like kind of features, and it still came out to be like 18 minutes. But yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
like I said, so I think that's brilliant on their part that they kind of just, like it says, become a real space ninja.
Um, I'm trying to think of any other crazy contests like this. Nothing comes close to
I mean,
sending.
nothing on this scale, but something I would say well, it's not a contest, but it's the thing that was out of like left field was like um, Elon Musk with like the whole wanting to sell flamethrowers or something. Well,
Oh yeah,
flamethrowers. Like that wasn't a contest, but it was so out of left field that it got so much press for it. I just feel like, you know, this is along those lines.
yeah. I'm thinking more game studios.
Oh, okay.
I think like maybe WoW did something back in the day, if anything. But
I am trying to think. I don't know if it was
uh,
on this scale. Like, I mean,
nah,
I've seen like ESO do like, we'll send you to like certain parts on the Earth, but once again, I haven't remembered a game studio that's taken you away from the Earth.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
If I won, I would go to space. It would be cool.
you would
It's
couple that with you'd be like, because you know you said you want to do the voiceover.
it would be on. Well, it's
You'll
not
be
on the
like, I want
bucket
to do
list, but it'd be
mine
like
on the spaceship. It'd be the first ever voice line delivered on the spaceship. Like, boom, there you go.
well, technically Neil Armstrong gets that, but
Well, but no, he wasn't voicing a character. That's what I mean. Like,
oh, I have to voice a character in space.
yeah,
I guess so. Like addendum
exactly.
point one, voice act in space.
But yeah. So that was kind of like all the advertisement stuff leading up to and kind of around TennoCon, which it starts to make you think like they better be delivering with something because this isn't like don't be doing all this and it's just gonna be like this little 5-minute segment like last year with Railjack, and it's like oh cool, but we want more, we need more. Well, they definitely delivered it, but I know I keep teasing people, we're not gonna get the space combat just yet. I know that's gonna be their big thing. That's yeah, and like chat saying they did deliver because they're I want to get the other stuff out of the way just because I know we're gonna gush about the space combat. Because
Okay.
if you watched Saturday, we streamed a TennoCon live thing, or sorry, Tenno live on our thing. It should still be up there if you want to go back and watch it, and we'll probably release it at some point in a later way. But um, yeah, we were like in awe. Like it's just that crazy over the top. But some of the stuff that was leading up to it, I would say the stuff that they kind of announced that would drop at 10 like was happening at TennoCon was first up was the Wukong Prime was announced. And so I think later, literally at the end of 10 Live, which ended what 8 no yeah 8 p.m.
Yeah,
or was it
7:38.
6 to 7? It was 7
Well,
to
it
8.
was 6 to 7, but it ran for like 20
Okay,
extra minutes.
so right around there they were showing the red text that you would normally see in game that was gonna drop the Wukong, and also the other thing we'll be showing. But yeah, so you can get Wukong Prime. The relics are in game, or you can spend the normal variant amount, where you can just get the Prime Warframe, the Prime Warframe and the weapons, or the Prime Warframe weapons and accessories, which that I think total package is like about 140 US. But yeah, so and they just did a Wukong rework if you're not familiar, so it's kind of plays pretty differently, and a lot of people feel like for the better. I would definitely agree with that. I mean, the it's a clone type thing, basically uses your other weapon. So if you're using range, it's running in melee. If you're running melee, it's gonna stay back range. It's kind of a nice covering the
Ah,
bases.
that's cool.
Yeah,
My
it's
friend,
pretty intelligent.
yeah. Friend plays is like Wukong's in his top three, so actually really likes it. So he was like farming hard for those prime parts. I think he's still. I think he's farming right now. If I go check.
The only sad part feels like they bypassed Atlas. Atlas was supposed to, if according to the release line that they normally followed, Atlas was supposed to be next.
Ah,
Don't Atlas is Atlas is great. He just runs up and starts punching people.
Yeah, and yes, he is playing Warframe. So there you go.
But yeah, so you can pick up the Wukong Prime right now, or if you were watching during TennoCon, you can do it then. And that goes for usually around 3-ish months before it switches to a different Prime access. But you can still farm for the relics. You just won't be able to pay the bundle price, as you can see here.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, the other thing that they announced that was dropping at during TennoCon was Nightwave Series 2. And this one involves the Infested. The Infested and a creepy child.
Yes.
But yeah, look at some of these skins you're going to get.
Like I like. Oh, that's actually a nice blade. I totally forgot about that.
The Operator one looks pretty cool. It's basically all Infested themed. Like you'll get a 2-handed sword skin, a shoulder piece, and what they didn't show in here that you can see during the Nightwave Series 2 thing is an Infested ephemera, so kind of like an aura type thing. Oh, that's also in there as well. So
okay. Huh. So.
Oh. Chat's getting me on technicalities. Technically, Wukong was out the month before Alice, just only in the China build.
Correct.
Well, we're not in the China build. We're in the world build. China gotta be all special.
Yeah.
Did I just start a war?
Thanks, China. Yeah. So I have another friend who's probably grinding this out.
Well, and luckily I'm kind of glad because last time they did Series 1, they dropped it, I think, on like a Friday or Saturday, like pretty close, and it cut off that Sunday, so you only had like a couple days to do like the first amount. And I was so, like, we did Talking Script, and then we went straight into the Tenno live thing, and then I was like, I still had to upload the Talking Script episode, and yeah. I'm like, I'm literally thinking, I'm like, oh, am I gonna have a day to literally do this, because it usually resets on Sundays for me. And I'm like, oh, but when I log in, I was like 7 days, 21 hours. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, thank you.
Yeah, because they also extended it because of the people at TennoCon, since they probably want to play too. I would assume.
Hey, you got to be there. That's on you. No, it's definitely.
Laptop. I was bringing my laptop.
We know you would have.
Yeah,
you would have been holding it up and like, can anybody else? Can I actually Ethernet into your guys' build thing and just start playing on stage? Like,
just go to my hotel and it's like, bam, start playing. Or I could just go home. It's like 8 hours away.
There you go. A little bit farther.
Yeah,
but yeah, like chat saying they're gonna be grinding too. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be right there with you. And this week, it didn't seem too bad of ones. It seems like they really learned their lesson from the last Nightwave. Like, they took the information that people gave, and you kind of saw that with the intermission, but I think it just they definitely continue to follow suit. They're still the modular weapon one, which I know a lot of people were saying, well, I've been playing for so long, I'm a veteran player, I don't have any more Zaws or things to guild anymore. And it's like, I don't want to make something that I already have, because the way that works is one of the pieces in there counts towards the mastery, so you want to build like each of the ones you can, just so you can get the mastery for it. So that's like, yeah, they don't want to waste their stuff towards it, but um, I know. Well, I know some people have a problem with the former one, which once again, it's kind of the same situation. It's like, oh, I already have my builds the way I want, type thing, or I don't know. I might just set up like a dummy character where I'm like, in the long run, it's like that's the one that will always be format if these continue this way.
Oh, okay.
But I know that's been some of the complaints with it, but they definitely made it where you can do less, but you do get more rep for the stuff.
Okay.
So kind of balances things out, but and also I'm sure it's going to carry over because they showed it off the intermission thing. If you're able, say, if you don't get through all these ones and you're like, oh, it was so close, they said they were introducing it and they showed it off in the intermission. If the next week you finish all of your uh, weekly stuff, it will give you the previous weeks and so on and so forth. So you can theoretically play catch up.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Nice.
that's the other thing for new players. You're kind of SOL because it's not like it changes depending on what you have unlocked. Like chat saying, like they don't have the rep for the factions to gild the weapons.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, that was I think pretty much all the stuff that dropped that night as like a play it right now type thing. Um, one of the things they kind of showed off and this was a little bit during the art panel and a little bit during the Tenno Live was the new war, and here's a trailer for it, which it's kind of showing off. They were talking about this is kind of like the one mothership or like one of the bigger ships where basically it takes in matter and like different, like I think they said there was an Orkan tower in there just to show scale, and it uses it to rebuild itself. So it's kind of, but yeah, it's once again I think this is the one they showed off at Tenno Live, but it basically is it shows an Orkan or a I think an Orkan invasion type thing because they've been on the far reaches of kind of space type thing. And before I cut off the black, like there was a black bit at the beginning, just but it was like a transmission you could hear of like someone saying like they were we found a transmission off the outside of like Phobos or something, and they're showing it here, and you see it crash landing what looks like the planet of Eidolon, which would be Earth, and all of a sudden, all of these sentient creatures come pouring out. But even the scariest part was, and they said it during 10 Alive, but maybe if it's still a slow news week, when we do the next show, maybe we'll explore kind of the lore behind all the stuff that's going on, because there's so many theories coming around with this and with some of the other stuff we'll be showing later. But yeah, this person right here that you're gonna see, this sentient, was they said that was Space Mom's brother. So, oh boy. Families gathering for the holidays, Christmas 2019.
Do I have to play through a certain aspect for it to understand this?
I'm gonna guess that this is gonna require, the new war is gonna require you to get through all the way, I think, the sacrifice and then the little bits afterwards.
That's what I thought. All right, I'll hop to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible. It's kind of very hard to, especially with some of the later on stuff as well.
Okay.
That's not a family gathering that I would want to be a part of. Well, you're gonna be, whether you like it or not.
That's every family gathering, to be honest.
Yeah, but this one drops amazing loot. Hopefully.
At what price?
Well, bashing your, I guess technically your uncle in the head, I'm assuming.
Oh boy. Uh,
But yeah, so can't wait. I mean, granted, this is gonna be Christmas 2019, but um, do keep that in mind because they did say that Railjack or Empyrean was supposed to come out before the new war. So that kind of gives a time frame, especially when we start talking about what we're gonna be showing off later. But also during the art panel, like I said, they were showing off a little video of the tile set that you could probably see from some of the new war stuff. So goes along with that whole like I think this is kind of on that ship where it's like rebuilding itself because it's kind of open to space, but also, uh,
oh,
yeah, it's pretty crazy looking. But yeah, like they said, it basically sucks in matter. So I think, like they said in the panel, conservation of matter is still in effect. They're going somewhat scientific with it. Like it's not like it just magically creates it.
it's like the Doom in space or something.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I
I
mean,
guess
wasn't
is,
one of the dooms on Mars? So
yeah.
this is a bit further. But yeah,
Or
it does have
Diablo.
that Doom aesthetic. I think even someone said that too. It was like, I can't wait to play Doom Eternal or something in space. Or
That looks really cool.
yeah, it looks amazing. But also during the art panel, they showed off some of the enemies, which boy, howdy, do some of them look pretty crazy. Like when they show the actual version of this one, like it just looks like it has a bunch of fingers. Like it's like a, I don't know, like a diddler or something. I don't know what to
Mm.
call it. But it is creepy. But they have one that I think they kind of just code named, like it's a transporter type one, which I don't know if that's what chat was talking about earlier, was the transporter type of one where basically it's a monster, it's a creature that will open up and basically have a portal and let monsters come, let the other enemies come through.
That's
Like you'll,
nice. That's
yeah, it's
lovely.
actually this one here. The I missed the name, but yeah, it looks pretty crazy. I think they even said like it reminded them of a waiter, because they were just kind of like holding things. But yeah, you'll see it here in a second where he just kind of opens up and just turns. Yeah, there you go. Turns into an archway and just armies come through.
Well, that's pleasant.
Oh, okay, yeah. Chad is saying the one in the video, the ones that slam to the ground, are that type. So good eye. I did not, or at least it looked like it. Okay, if that is the case, which would make sense. They would be a good forward fighting one. But they have this one. They have one that has just kind of a shield that has like a hole in it. It looks like it would probably shoot through it if I was guessing. But
They seem like kind of like angel archetypes from like anime or something.
well, I mean, they are kind of seen as like kind of godlike to some of the types of races. Like they're kind of like the was it forerunners for like Mass Effect, or like there are
Mhm.
these like mysterious precursor type creatures, or
Yeah, interesting designs. Wonder what the do you know what they said they kind of like base the aesthetic on, or
um I'm not sure. I don't know if chat
Hmm, that's
heard
pretty
it
cool.
because yeah, I don't know what they really based it off of, but I know they were saying they were going a little bit crazier with these ones, as you can easily kind of tell.
Yeah,
But
because I
yeah,
know I forget already, but there's like different animes where like they're angel constructs, and these remind me of very much like at least
oh,
like the
okay.
very first few. So it's kind of interesting. I get that vibe off of them. It's
Oh,
not
and this
like
is one of the new weapons that they said is going to be playing a part in this whole new war type thing, is the sentient arm weapon for your character. They said this is where it all started. I don't know if they were joking or whatnot, but so maybe they started making the sentience based off of that kind of a.
Sentient arm weapon.
Yeah, I can't even begin to know. And then they just said that here was some cosmetic skins that were gonna
Does it look
and
a
new
pet?
weapons.
It's like a sub pet. That'd be kind of neat.
I don't know. It looks like a maybe it's a knowledgeable melee weapon or something, or
That's pretty cool.
they kind of remind chat of the Phyrexians from Magic the Gathering.
Oh, maybe it is. Mm,
But
Phyrexian. Hmm.
yeah,
I dig it.
so well, let us, I would say, ease our way into space combat
Give
because
me, give me the space combat so I can guess
well,
again.
we'll ease our way in. First, they were showing off at the art panel before we saw anything from Tenno Live was the updated look of what the orbiter was going to look like, which is kind of like your hub ship type thing for people that aren't familiar with Warframe. But you can see the updated look of it. We have a little glass. We have a glass ceiling now. I mean,
So good.
yeah. And I'll
Yes.
show the when I show the montage thing, it does have that as well. It has the like the beginning parts of that, so you can kind of see like they're upgrading the in game engine and stuff, and like they're putting a lot of work into this coming out. But
Yeah. Because we talked about how, with next gen's consoles around the corner, they want to, allow people to play Warframe on those as well. So this
so
update helps, especially, with 8K probably be the next thing in like the next 3 years or something like that.
glad you update your graphics card. Yeah, it's probably gonna make it a little bit harder. Um, One of the other things, hopefully it's the one that's up, is during the art panel, they actually talked about during Railjack modular arc wings. So for people that don't know, the arc wing kind of has been how you did space combat and kind of underwater combat, and just flew around in some of the open world maps. Um,
Mhm.
and they've been basically very stagnant, like kind of almost like a Warframe itself is like, here's this type of arc wing, here's the skills that go with it, and a lot of people just focused on one because it kind of had like a dash forward type thing for the more the speed. But
It's so awesome.
yeah, but previous previous uh prime not prime time uh
Oh, Dana Prime?
I'm thinking of their dev streams, but
Oh,
previous dev streams they were saying that they were trying to think of waves for people to not focus so much on the itzel.
okay.
So yeah, in chat saying like they don't even think they finished the basic Arcwing. It is one of those tough things to level up, especially because not a lot of people are fans of the Arcwing missions. But
Arcwing missions are just I don't
they
really
were fun at first when I first did them. I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. I don't know why people hate them so much, but it does take you out of your warframe, like your frame, like
I don't like the Arcwing. I like Arcwings on the open world maps a lot better. Because you have that
okay.
flexibility, but you can't level your Arcwing weapons because like that, which also sucks. Unless you get the modifier to get your gun, I think. I don't think there's one for the melee weapon.
They're like flying things, chat. Like they will propel you. It's not like you have to be up on high and it only takes you downward. This will allow you to fly up, down, left, right, any way
Yeah.
you want to go. So, but
So for those who know, it's like there are missions where instance, and then you have like a certain thing to do, like protect a supply ship or something like that. And then you have open worlds where you can actually use your Arcwing and deploy it, and then you just fly around, but you use your Warframes weapons, not the Arcwing weapons that
mm,
you can equip as well. So On the instance missions, you can actually use the Arcwing weapons, but at the same time, those missions are a real pain in the butt.
Well,
Unless you
once you yeah, once you get the yeah, if you go through the Fortuna stuff, then you can get the item, so you can call summon in that weapon when you want.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's.
it's I'm not a huge fan of the instance missions too much.
I'm just
Uh,
wondering if we're gonna see a slight rework because they are utilizing also the arc wings during the space combat, which we will see. But
yeah, I feel like we need better mods. I personally think it's because I just every time I go in the Arcwing, it's like, oh, I've gone from over 1K HP to like 400 because I don't have it leveled. I'm like, I'm flying into like this level 20 to 30. I'm like, ugh, same thing.
and Chad, like, they kind of spread them like wings. Like when you look at, I think it's like the default one that you kind of get, or like kind of the earlier ones. They definitely make it look like it's like an angel type wing type. I think it's like a guardian type arc wing, but it's literally like on the back of a Excalibur with like the wings like sticking out of its shoulder. Like it, they really play.
Yeah.
Like I think they kind of play. Kind of, I think what Age is saying. Like, you were saying how those sentients looked like kind of angel type things. I think they really play up with that type thing as well.
If you think like Gundams, and there are different types of Gundams, that's also a way to think about it. There are different types, and there are different kind of looks and feels to them, but they generally do the same thing. They have different abilities, but you know, can fly around. One's faster than the other. One has more better defensive capabilities. One's kind of like all rounder. Uh, that's the type of deal.
Yeah. And well, let's get back to the space combat. So we got new looks for the arc wings coming in, but like I said earlier, I kind of grabbed little bits here and there of the, like, they showed off 45 minutes. I kind of just ran a mission itself. I try to get bits and pieces. It's still 20 minutes long. I'm sure it's going to play through as we gush about it because we're that excited for it. But yeah, so you can see here, this one, it starts like I have it with showing off the inside of the orbiter, and you can see the new shadows, the new look, because it is in that new version of the orbiter that we were talking about earlier a little bit ago. But
Yeah.
yeah, you
So
can. It looks so beautiful.
yeah, from a lot of gamers' perspective, you're gonna like say, okay, shadows and stuff, but if you think about it from a game dev's perspective, they're looking at this like every single day and seeing the improvements, even though it's just like little things like light and shadow. They can definitely tell the difference, and and I can see the difference too. It's really cool. Um, in addition to the updated graphics as well. So very much kudos to them. And you could tell when the dev was like explaining all the different like just check out like this little aspect and how more um uh solid the shadow is compared to like other times versus little things like that. So it was like really cool to see him get into it type of deal. And then you have this beautiful segment.
The ship entering. You're gonna need like a dojo for it, and if people aren't familiar, dojos are the clan or the guild hall type thing, if you will. The great part is it scales. So if you have less than 10 people, it's based off of what you build. As like, there's a special thing that you build in the dojo that increases your roster size. As you increase that, you increase your dojo's or your clan's rank. If it's the first rank, the higher the rank, the amount of resources to build things like this hangar or other things in the dojo scale. So if you do keep it as a low, so even like a small clan, sorry, I will probably use guild by accident here and there because I do play other games that, but um,
Uh,
so I've always liked that system. I've talked about it many times. Like such a good system. But you can build this hangar, and each you need the clan to build the hangar, every person has their own ship. So it's not like this is the guild ship and like you took out the guild
Yeah,
ship before we were going to do an event tonight. Like what the heck? Come back here with our ship. Like there's none of that. It's your own thing you summon
I really
in.
like that.
As you can see, you can put your own emblems and stuff on it, name it, dye it, whatever you like, normal palettes like you see on your Warframes or anything else. So, I
I
mean,
have the perfect name in my head. I'll
I
hold
know you
on
won't
to it.
tell me. You won't
I
tell me.
know. I have a perfect name for it. Uh, one feature I actually really liked that they explain, and just like thinking about it, it's like long term is actually a really good idea. Is that they're not doing mods for this per se, just because they're doing augments that you can get. So you know how people like want to farm different things, like uh, and the it's you know how like you have a Warframe and you want to level it to 30, you're maxed out, and do a forma, level it again. It seems like here you just apply augments to your railjack, and then you augment your own railjack uh, augments, and that's really nice because if you wanted to like do missions in your railjack with friends, you don't have to like suffer through leveling the ship itself, right? You want to
Yeah.
level the augments or find the augments. I'm not sure if there's actual level aspect to the augments themselves, or maybe you find them in missions or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were kind of talking about like you upgrade the tech. Like I'm guessing like maybe when you first start out with your own railjack,
Yeah,
um,
or maybe with
it's
Endo or
like the
something.
base stuff. But like maybe as you progress further, maybe you are killing like Corpus ships. Like oh, you get Corpus tech to add like the Corpus turrets target faster since they're more robotic type things,
Yeah,
but maybe do like a little, who knows? But I'm wondering if it's going to be something like that. Like maybe the top tier
yeah,
stuff's going to be the orc and something or others, or
yeah. Well, I like it because it doesn't impede you from playing with your friends because you like want to level one thing, your friend want to level like another thing. Like they want to level their ship, but you want to level your ship at the same time, so you can't play. But like this kind of solves that issue as well. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm actually kind of curious if there's like a level up aspect to the augments, maybe with Endo, or
yeah,
maybe not
not
at
sure.
all. Maybe there's just different ones, different missions drop different.
Or new resources that are in there because when they show some of the things in there, I think they were saying there's like a new resource that looked like titanium. Like I don't remember that being
Right.
a
Yeah.
thing in there. So
That was to feel it. And then you're actually in the ship, which is pretty freaking huge. It's awesome.
yeah, and I know you were excited about this during the when they were showing it off. Was you actually have crew that you can pick and choose and select? Like it's not an
Yeah.
empty ship. It's
I like that. I like it because it kind of gives it that Mass Effect feel.
yeah.
Maybe not the romance aspect, but
Oh, I'm gonna
um,
try my darndest.
so I actually wonder if they have like personalities and things like that. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And if it isn't now, who knows? I mean, it might in the future. It's just, but
Yeah,
oh, you
the
can hear
options.
you can see the launching sequence here. Like, oh, so beautiful, and it keeps all
Yeah,
your color, your defined colors or
that
glitches.
that's gonna be fun the first couple times, but then we're gonna skip. But first couple times are gonna
Yeah.
be great.
Oh, that first time it's gonna be like, oh, going on my ship. It's
It's like
gonna
none of you
happen.
skip this. I swear. uh,
Yeah, is it gonna have like one of those things like in like what is it, Guild Wars 1 where it's like four players have skipping this cutscene. You are not. It's like
it's like, well, they
I
can wait.
yeah. I can't. Sometimes I would come out of it and be like, who was trying to skip it?
They
Or
actually,
when you're later the veteran and you're skipping, it's like who was the 7 out of 8 person? Who was that one person?
yeah, they do it for like Overwatch. They have a like a this person skip, this person skip, and like you're the only one watching. And Final Fantasy, there's a in the earlier levels when I was playing a Realm Reborn, You could watch the cinematic, and other people are waiting in a circle with you while the cutscene's over, for waiting for you to finish the cutscene. And in later levels, there are 8-man dungeons where you can't skip the cutscenes at all, so everyone has to watch them.
Oh
So
wow.
it's
And well, actually, as you're seeing here, this is them flying through a mission, basically starting to collect resources. As you see, one person's flying, the other person's using the gun to blast like rock and debris and stuff, and the other person's basically playing like storage management, and like you can do like if you want to be that person, you can like,
yeah,
and then and eventually here they'll actually the two will actually board off and go explore one of the towers that are just floating in space, like
yeah.
all,
So
using their arc wings. So once again, here's another important, the arc wings are gonna be a necessity again. Like,
yeah, it's really cool because for those people who like play Eve online type of deal, and farm resources, things like that, that's kind of their jam. Like they just go out. Like I hopefully they have like free range railjacking where you could just go out and mine stuff. Because I know, well, like I can tell right off the bat, a ton of people love doing that, and like just getting together with friends, like, hey, we're gonna gather like titanium today. Like
well,
it's
like
like
I said, like I was saying during like kind of our live reaction on Saturday was like, I can already see like making like a clan night event of it. Be like, we're all getting in our railjacks and we're just exploring space. Bring ideally it's like bring your hydroid or your pirate frame, like we're talking like a pirate tonight type thing, like maybe
pirate
get
night.
maybe get a little bit tipsy, who knows,
We
but
get
you gotta play the part, let's just say.
we're gonna talk about it later, but you can be a legit pirate, which is really cool because you
Yeah,
like can legit jump onto enemy ships. I
but
love that.
actually as you're seeing right here, as the people are fighting infested in the tower, the person that still is back in the ship can actually send down like damage from the ship because they can kind of view where the enemies are, so even they're not out of like the action. Like it's just very thought out, and I think we're going to express that here again. But this is
Yeah,
also the basically I remember, as you're seeing here, the Wukong's getting launched into the enemy ship to take it over, because basically um they added a kind of Grand Theft Auto thing, as they said, like you can take over an enemy ship.
oh my god,
Oh
yeah,
boy.
that was so good. It's so
And we're not going to be able to keep up with the video, but you're
good.
just kind of seeing stuff ahead of time that we're going to be talking about. But yeah, you can take over the enemy ship, and but this now reminds me of the interview that Rebecca, the community manager, had with the I think it was a Japanese
I know it's
news
Japanese.
site, and they were saying like think of Sea of Thieves, and when they were saying like you can basically put yourself in the gun and shoot yourself, I was like that's totally Sea of Thieves. Like I've seen that many a times. Like, but
Uh,
this looks so much cooler. It's a big laser gun type thing.
that's right. And you
But
have what they're about to show off is like Squad Link, which is
yes, which
one
they
of
made a joke with, as Chad is saying, fish team.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, they so if things are getting a little bit tough, you can actually ask for help from, and it kind of works like the matchmaking system of, it'll first try to find your clan mates, your uh friends
friends, all that stuff.
lists, yeah, and then just regular public. But say if you're for some reason don't want to do the space combat thing, maybe get motion sickness or something, legitimate reasons, whatnot. If you can play the other, like the regular tertiary ground missions, you can, as you can see here, establish this link, search for comms of like if your friends need extra help. So basically, I think it's like this Grenier ship is pulling shields from the planet below, but you can ask your friends, and they did say if you do not have, if this is not available, like if you don't get anybody, you can still do the fight. It's just harder. But
Hmm.
yeah, you now can help your friends from the ground that are fighting in space. Like as they said, it just became the battle of Endor. Like it's just So, well, that's the interesting thing. You're not in this. It doesn't seem like you're in the same. I don't know the tech behind it. Like, it doesn't seem like you're in the same map or something, like
Yeah.
on the same team or something, because it is like an impromptu thing. It seems like it may just unlock a special event on your map or something if you're in the right one, where they can complete the thing and then it'll relay back to them. But it does link them together, so you can have a group like that night. You can go out if you're space pirating out that night with four of your buddies or three of your other buddies, and
You have a
four other
fish
people
team on
come
the
on.
ground.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna farm regular stuff, and they're like, we need backup. Like they can join in too. It's like so.
So I'm gonna just. It's like, all right, you guys go to space. I'm a fish because I need to level up stuff. So like,
I
just
need my Cetus rep.
I need a Mercedes rep. Call me if you need me.
But
Uh,
yeah, it's just
that's all right. So I think that is one of the single most interesting um, features for a game to have for many reasons. So first reason is very first of all, if you're not a huge fan of Railjack, right? If you're not a fan of like flying around in a giant spaceship for whatever reason, you
get
could
out.
still like, well, yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
but you can actually still participate and get and not only that, but you can actually get extra rewards on top of helping out someone, right? So that's really cool. I actually really like that a lot. And just connecting two different environments together like that is very, very cool, and I haven't seen that at all
Yeah,
in any games. Like just like two completely different maps, so that's really cool. And
but
then
oh, go ahead.
I do want to talk about this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they introduced a new mob type, the Kuva Lord, which will learn from you. Like it learns a skill of yours on top of having a regular random effect, which in this case it pulls. As you see this beam coming down on them, they pull shields from the ship, so it's like harder to basically pretty much. Oh, did I say Kuva Lord? Kuva Lich. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, basically it's harder to kill, but later on they attack the ship itself to destroy it, as you're gonna kind of see here, to then fight it. But basically, it seems like they added a nemesis system into Warframe, which, if you're not familiar, was popular, like I think made and popularized by the Shadow of War, like Lord of the Rings Shadow of War series,
Yeah.
where basically, as you fought your enemies, you can in that one you can kind of pin them against each other, but they would also learn from you. They would share the information. They would actually become harder, which I think is what they're trying to go with here. Is like when you kill it, it learns one of your skills. So you know, next, you maybe if you fight it with this invulnerable frame, you kill it, but it might become really tough to fight next time. Like,
Hmm. So they added essentially, I guess, Elite Dangerous. What do you consider it? Like, does Elite Dangerous have the space combat? I have no
I,
idea. I have no
I
idea.
don't know if it's to this extent.
Okay, let's say it's Star Citizen. They added Star Citizen to the game. They added Sea of Thieves to the game. They added Mass Effect to some aspect to the game. They added Star Wars Shadows of Mordor to the game, and they added I don't a Squad Link, which is like a feature I've never really encountered before. I'm really
Yeah, in
wondering
that
how well
in that
that's.
style, it's just.
Yeah,
I mean, we were talking
it's
about
like,
it during the, and you see here, you're going to assassinate which has a new animation
and they
itself.
added
Which,
Assassin's Creed to the game in some
oh yeah,
aspect.
yeah, you have the hand spike thing.
That was great.
But yeah, I think we were talking about it during the uh live, like when they were live streaming it, was last year when, like, this is what really got me enthralled with Warframe, was how, you know Steve, one of the devs there, and not only him but all of them. But you can really see it in Steve, like especially during his like side streams, like when he's like they're getting ready to launch the thing. Just the love and joy he has it doing with the game, and you really saw when he was talking about it last year when they first showed the little bit of Railjack. And at first, I was just thinking, I was like, I mean, it is cool that you're adding space combat. And I'm like, it's just space combat. But seeing it this year, because I'm sure it was, not finished or anything like that, but probably had the structure and the ideas behind it, and probably a lot of it being worked on. Seeing it this year, I understand. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Is this like mind-blowingly amazing? Like,
This adds a completely a new layer of element to the game. Like, just the fact that the game, I think the layers have been like open world, Arcwing, um, the board. I think I forget what it's called, but and then
oh
you
yeah,
have
they
this.
hover. Or,
Yeah, they add different means of transportation. They added open worlds, and they said they not necessarily want to add open worlds. All they don't want to come every TennoCon and say like we're just adding open world. We want to add like connection. And this actually is a very interesting way of just delivering a new chunk of content. That's just K Drive. Thank you. I think it's just really cool. I just want to play it. I'm gonna be honest. I
yeah.
just want to play it right now. I said this last weekend, but I want to play it right now. It's so much
Honestly,
fun.
at the end when they were showing the red text in game saying like, oh, the update's coming, and they were like saying like, oh, in 5 minutes, and he was doing a little bit more information. I was like, I was like, if they announce it, like if they're like, hey, I found this one file back here that says Empyrean or something, I'll just throw it in, or something, something joking like that. I was like, I'm gonna lose my like, just I'm gonna faint. Like I was getting like heated, like I was just like ready to be like, don't
Yeah.
do this, don't do this. So I think for my health, I'm thankful they didn't, because they were already like, they announced Nightwave, which is cool. They announced I'm now blanking on all the other stuff because I'm just gushing about this now, but Wukong and stuff. So it was a lot of stuff that you could already like farm that
Yeah.
night, but it was
I
like if
think
they would have dropped that, it would have been
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's overload.
Spacing it out would be is the best way. But think they did a really good job. I'm really happy
Yeah,
with what I saw. Um, I am going to be interested how well the squad link stuff works.
that was my
Um,
one worry. Was I saw someone respond to one of the videos on like YouTube or something and said like host migration is going to be a big issue, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Like
hmm, because
that's one thing that could have put a damper on stuff.
yeah, because technically, what you would want, the way I picture it working in my head is that you have two different. Oh, I had deja vu for a second. Anyway, you have two different aspects, right? Um,
Yeah,
wow, major deja vu. So you have one team on the ground, one team in the sky, and you're gonna have kind of like this in between bridge link. So it's gonna be sending information back and forth to each. So yeah, I guess it. But the only thing that you would want to know is that you would send to the ground a mission. Do they accept or not? They send it back, or they're like literally waiting for anyone to pick up that transmission. And then when someone picks it up, they go, okay, this team's going to try to do the transmission. Hold on, we'll let you know if they succeed. Bottom gets it. If there's some weird disconnect or something like that, I guess I can understand. But for the most part, it's going to be like if it's successful, it pings back. It was successful. If it times out for it might ping every now and then just to check the status. And if it loses it somewhere here, that it'll probably like either say that they failed or it'll try to connect to someone else type of deal. So I think there's like a lot of
yeah. I think
safety
that
that's
this is the
involved.
biggest, scariest problem with all this is the
Yeah.
potential host migration, because That could
I,
really screw things up.
I don't see I don't see absolutely major problems with it. As long as like what I'm thinking is what they're doing to some degree. Um, but yeah, I also am interested. Is there going to be like a free flight system? You know, like you just want to go into an area and you want to farm type of deal. I don't know if it's like all missions.
I mean, from what it looks like right now, it does, but it could be an aspect later on of like maybe you just want to.
Kind of like how Plains Eidolon works. It's like you do have missions on that map, but like if you just want to free roam it, you can.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I
That would be pretty
mean,
fun. And then you could just
yeah,
go and mine
make
and
a night
stuff.
of it.
And then if there are enemies around, you know.
Well, it seems like you can kind of like from what they were showing off, like as soon as you finished in one mission, it wasn't like going back to like the space hub. It was just like go back to that ship and go, all right, we're gonna go to another area in the solar system, and they kind of warped through. So, and like chat saying there might be like explore missions,
Yeah,
and yeah, the
cool.
one that they first went on was an exploration one. But it definitely did have like a eventually it had like a point where it was like go check out here, but
Yeah, it seemed like a. Oh yeah, that's true. They went to hyperdrive or something like that. It's like Star
yeah,
Trek. It's great.
but yeah, it's oh my god, this is just oh yeah, they found the tech in the
Yeah.
tower, which was
Uh,
but
so overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, how'd you find it?
I mean, what just the space combat?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're not even done yet. There's more, man. They didn't stop after the
Was
space
there
combat.
was there more after space? Was there
Yeah.
more space combat? I don't remember.
No, there was stuff after the space combat. I'm sorry you blacked out of excitement.
Sorry.
It
Continue.
it kind of seamlessly led into it. I'll give you that. Because after they took down that ship, it kind of faded into
Oh, right, that bit. But I mean,
yeah.
like,
But just
okay,
this.
so like that part aside,
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
that's what I meant.
I was gonna say that still is a pretty interesting
That's pretty cool. Yes, I'll admit. But like this
because
what we saw, this demo.
I mean, chat's already saying 10. Like I said, I know it's corny of like saying like 11 or 12. I guess if we're doing it by the book, I would have to give it a 10 because, like I said, last year when they were like, yeah, we're doing space combat stuff, and I'm like I said, when I saw Steve being so super excited about it, I'm like, okay, it's cool and all that stuff. Like, I didn't feel groundbreaking with it, but then they show this, and I'm expectations reached and surpassed. Like amazing, easily a 10 of content that they're and it. It's supposed to be coming out this year because while they still said soonish, they did say that they were gonna release it before the new war.
Hmm.
Which, like we showed earlier, the new war does say Christmas 2019. Whether that gets pushed back, who knows? But
Okay.
so hopefully sometime this year.
I'm shooting November for this, just because maybe I want to say September, but September feels a little early. Like I would say late September, November, like that time frame. That's still really open, but I would say November for sure latest, if anything, because that gives them like it seems like they have a lot of the systems in place since like this was I'm not sure if it was a demo per se, but uh it seems like they have a lot of what they want done and there's like fine tuning left to do. So that would give them like
Yeah, I
a
could see
good
late September,
3 months.
maybe October, just because if they're gonna
Yeah.
try to keep with the new war at Christmas 2019, which it will be like
Yeah, but you
near
also
the
want to give
very end of the
time,
year,
to
is that
you want to give people give time to enjoy the new stuff and everything.
yeah.
So uh maybe early November, I guess.
Yeah, I would say
late
maybe for me
October.
somewhere in the October area. That way it gives them like a whole all of November and
Yeah, and give some time to work out any bugs and stuff. But it's interesting because it's like you have to work out the bugs, and then you have to work out
yeah.
the new war stuff as well. So it's kind of an interesting time frame that they have. Maybe it'll just come out September. You never know. I guess I don't know. I honestly don't know how much they have done because it seems like they have a
It
lot
seems
done.
very fine tuned, but as they were saying before, it like things could just break all of a sudden during
Yeah,
when they were showing it off this year.
yeah. So I have 3 months. 3 months from now is July, August. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and I was gonna say if you were watching this live streamed from twitch.tv slash Warframe or play Warframe, I believe it is. Um, if you watch it for 30 minutes, you got the Necros Prime, which this is the weird thing. I do want to address that a lot of it's like he said, she said at this point, but because apparently there was red text that went out yesterday in the game that said, "Hey, ahead of schedule, were able to deliver everybody's that was supposed to receive it."
Uh,
But then I heard some people on the subreddit saying they messaged um the customer service the customer service, and some were saying that they were giving out an answer of, well, if you didn't get it, you're not you're not eligible. But then some other people were saying that some of the other customer service reps were stating that it is still the 7-day mark, like
mhm.
so. I don't know. There's some kind of weird miscommunication there of I don't know who's saying what, but so I would still say wait the 7 days. Um, because I know some people are still missing their Necros Prime. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
it's and apparently people were also saying you're another customer service rep, and this is all hearsay. I can't confirm it just because I already have mine. But slash tag hum or slash tag. Wow, I'm old.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. No, I'm starting a new thing. Slash tag. Uh, but yeah, I just they people were saying you were able to watch the VOD on their like I'm assuming Twitch live stream
Oh,
and still be eligible for it till I believe they were saying like August 6th or so, sometime in
oh,
August.
do that. That's pretty cool.
That's what some people were saying that a customer service rep told them. I don't know if someone is able to try it and confirm it, but I've heard people say that that actually worked for some of the other Twitch drops in the past that they were able to watch a VOD. Maybe
Interesting.
but yeah.
I guess so.
Oh yeah, like Chad is saying right now. But okay, and it was August 6th. All right. But yeah, I don't know how true that is. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I already got mine, so I couldn't theoretically test that. And since I did watch 10 Alive, I couldn't be sure if it was from that or not. But I don't know. It's if you're in that situation, maybe just go give it a watch. I mean, heck, you get to watch this again. It is amazing. like,
That's true.
um, but yeah, it's so after you down that ship, it kind of like goes into like disintegrates into the void, and it kind of leads into they kind of seamlessly let it into another content drop, which well, there's the modular arc wings, but it was this little trailer, which it definitely is interesting. It's actually called the Duviri Paradox, which I think maybe once again we're going to be a bi-weekly podcast. So next week we're off, but then the week back we'll do another show. So every other Tuesday. But maybe we'll go into more of the lore about this because there's so many theories running around about this. But yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, it's a paradox. It looks like past and present Tenno type people, and I'm trying to keep it vague as possible, or Tenno operator type things, uh, are helping each other out. You'll see in this trailer here the Tenno from the other time is putting in a gun for him to pick up and then use, and all of a sudden he's then on this space horse. And now we're in space. Red Dead Redemption, like they're
Oh
conquering
yeah.
space, and now they're just doing Red Dead Redemption. I like I've jokingly said this on our other show, Talking Script, with trying to get other people to play Warframe. I was like, for people that say they
Yeah.
don't like Warframe, I look back and say, do you just not like games? Because I've jokingly said, like, all of a sudden I'm like in a shooter game, and then all of a sudden I'm with Cephalon Samaris basically doing Pokemon Snap, like taking little captures of their data, but it's basically Pokemon Snap. And then they jokingly put in Frame Fighter, they put in like some of the this game is like a bunch of mini games. Now we have basically space combat, and now possibly Red Dead Redemption. I don't know, like,
It's a
but
lot of layers. Oh, that's actually cool. Um, I was wondering if this person was looking at his past self or something,
that's what I was starting to wonder. But
but and then
there's some more information with the name Deviri, the Deviri paradox. It
mhm.
really opens it up, and like the mask, and like I said, that might be something we go into maybe next week, especially because while I played Warframe for uh, I think maybe 2 years now. I I'm still an amateur at the lore. Like, I would love to uh try or look at all these theories and maybe even try to construct some of my own with that. But I kind of gave up on it personally, because it was like at certain points it was like, if you go through the star chart, it's like, oh, this thing's here, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, here's our Red Dead Redemption moment. But
Hmm.
it's like, this person's here, but now that we progress the story in this direction, this is no longer canon. Like, the new story gets wedged in between these moments, like it's awkward. So after a certain point, I was just like, I'm just gonna shoot things. But I kind of really do want to I've here and there gotten the lore, but I'm in no way as experienced and comfortable and confident as I am with Guild Wars 2. But
Yeah. Uh, it's interesting. It's like there's comments that most people who don't like Warframe tried it 2+ years ago and found are intimidated by how far behind they think they are. I've played Warframe on and off since beta, and when it first came in, it was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I came back and it's like, oh, they redid mods. And I came back again. And it's like, oh shoot, they have this thing called Arc Wings, and it's awesome. I want one. And then from there, it's kind of like I played more frequently, like on and off. And then now it's like there's so much cool stuff, and I think with the rail jacket might actually make this like at least a weekly thing that I do, because it's and they have so that the games come such a long way from when it first began with like only 3 frames and these instance missions, and it's kind of cool to see. And I played back in the day where, well, I don't like, I'm gonna be that guy. Back in my day, we didn't have endo. We fused mods together to make better ones. So um, just seeing the game come this far and have this much success to the point of sending people to space for a contest, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say it's I always butcher the time, but it's what, going on 7 years for them as a
uh,
launched game or something. Because I mean, they've been in
yeah.
beta, but for a game to, I think, really change it up and even keep pushing the envelope even that far out to this extent,
Uh,
like
and to
like
like,
hats
yeah,
off to them. Like, wow.
there wasn't even like story back when it first started. Now you have all this intricate stuff, and I still say like I still love the Second Dream. I've played it 3 times. I d- I, I like it so much, and it's so good, so good. I just kudos to Digital Extremes, man. They took this game and made it something super awesome that a lot of people of varying types of skill and favoritism in different types of games can enjoy. Like if you want to play it hack and slash, you can. If you want to play it as a shooter, you can. If you like open world, if you like kind of like
And and they're constantly going back. I mean, you know, they had Melee 2.0, but they're currently working on Melee 3.0 changes to make the Melee a better experience and not just, you know, quick tap 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 like type thing. It's gonna be more, ideally, you know, more,
combos.
yeah, combos and precision. And so yeah, it's just constantly, they're not afraid to just be like, let's just change it up.
Yeah.
But oh man, it's just so interesting. But um I did miss two things that I would say one's a kind of a small thing, but the other one I'm kind of excited for.
Mhm.
Um the first small thing, and then we can kind of just gather our thoughts and wrap up here because I think that's about it. But during the art panel, they did show off some of the deluxe skins that they're going to be working on. So they're doing a Harrow, an Avara, Nova, Ash, and
Oh
Titania.
wow! Holy cow, that's
Which,
really
yeah,
nice. Jeez, I know people who like Avara a lot, and they're actually waiting for her prime frame. Oh, that Nova one's pretty nice. Jeez.
but yeah, some nice skins. That's the Ash Deluxe. So kind of has like the hood thing going a little bit Assassin's Creed, like you were saying before. So maybe
It kind of has an Egyptian feel to it too.
mm-hmm.
That Harrow one's really nice too. Jeez.
You just feel your wallet creaking open right now. You're like, oh no.
Well, not for the base ones because I told myself if I'm gonna buy anything, I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy
but you can
prime
mix and
ones.
match.
Uh, well, for the deluxe skins, yes, I'll get the deluxe skins. I think all those skins are great,
Yeah, I was gonna
especially
say everybody's like saying like this one and that one, and but it's like I kind of like each of them, and I could see like using pieces if I don't like the whole set, like the Harrow. Like I like kind of like the coat type thing that got going on.
yeah.
Avara, I'd have to kind of see it in game, especially maybe matching with some of the other headpieces because it looks a bit much for me at least. But
It's like a hunter type of deal,
yeah,
which I like. So,
and I kind of like the Titania one as well. I'm kind of
well,
curious to see, but yeah, I think all of them
I got work to do. Jeez,
are.
so many.
You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, so my goal in this game is to make and level every frame to 30, and when they have their prime version, I'm going to swap to their prime ones.
Well, that's
Um,
usually what you do, and that's how you get your MR up.
yeah, so and I didn't know I get my MR up by leveling things to max. So I've been doing that a lot lately. Um, and I got my Master 12, so I became
Now,
able.
my question is, now you're just kind of, I don't want to say mindlessly, or like your goal is to level up the frames. Are you just running missions, or are you one of the people that are just gonna blindly go into Hydron and just do that defense mission to level it up quicker? Because that is like
Uh,
the quote unquote place to level up your like frames and weapons and stuff.
I have a mission on Neptune that is a survival infested one,
Okay.
and I go in there. I have the Opticore Vandal, which like one shots almost everything. So what I do is I take a frame in there, and I just take that gun and I just literally wipe out things. And if on a good run, I just pick up the the life support that enemy
Okay.
mobs drop, and I wouldn't have to pick up the big ones, and I could just farm that for a while, and I do like 2 or 3 runs of that,
Well,
and I
I oh, go ahead.
max.
Oh, okay. It's about kind of like that with the defense mission, but yeah, I kind of agree with chat now that they're saying that Ivara's Deluxe skin kind of looks like it would be more fitting for Korra, which is the one that kind of has the companion pet.
Oh, okay.
It's the other kind of like hunter type, I would say, but
Hmm.
more of a trapper. But yeah, I would have to agree. It seems like it'd be more fitting on Korra, but maybe we'll see some crossing of themes. I wouldn't mind that sometimes, especially when I'm fashion framing. It's like, oh, couldn't I just like use all my skins between these things? That'd be great, but mapping and all that stuff would be a nightmare. Um, but the other ones that they've teased in the past were the 2 new Warframes they're working on. Don't have any date for them yet, but is Gauss and Grendel. So Gauss is the speedster that they were talking about, where it talks about the whole revving up as the mechanic type thing, and Grendel is the one that supposedly is going to be the gluttonous eating of the enemies to get boosts or of some sort, or.
That's cool.
But yeah,
Huh.
I can't wait for Grendel. Gauss, I don't know. I just I'm not much of a speedster.
I
But
am.
well,
I
there you go. I know you picked Volt. You said your spirit frame is Volt.
Yeah, it's like Volt, Mesa, and Wisp right now are my top three. Well,
Right now, I'm
no,
loving
wait, no,
Oberon.
I have to put
Grendel
Mag.
might be there.
I have to put Mag in there. I'm sorry, Mag has a special place. Uh, but yeah, I, I like trying out different. I'm a multi-classer, so I like trying out.
Oh,
I'm mainly an assassin player, but I like multi-classing, so it's like gonna be
well,
fun to
this is
try.
the perfect game for you because while you try out the other frames, you're getting mastery to
There's
better
so
your
many.
own.
So many. Oof. I'm
But
loving
yeah, I
this.
think that is basically all the big heavy hitting stuff that happened in and around TennoCon.
It's
Mag
good.
best starting frame period. I will fight you. Yeah, well
Mag
maybe
is no
after
Mag.
that collecting thing it gets, but
Mag is no Mag is actually a really good starting frame in my
I just
opinion.
never enjoyed.
Like, uh, well, when I first started, because like Excalibur,
Oh, here we
yes,
go. Back in my day. Go
well,
ahead.
oh, back in my day. Uh, so I started off with Mag, and with Mag, you pull people all over the place, and you shoot them. You shoot, and if they try to get up, you pull them again. You shoot them. They try to get up again. You shoot them until none of them remain. It was
See, when
great.
I fight the things, when they go down, they stay down.
Yeah,
Apparently,
so
you got trouble with that.
yeah, because I'm new to the game. But
I
now
was a
when I pull
natural.
people, they kind of just die. So.
I was a natural. Please, no one go and look up my first video in it. But I was a natural. As it
Uh-huh.
cuts to, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Mag is super fun. I love Mags.
I
Except
like the
when
concept, but I just could never gravitate towards it. Eh. But
oh, my force skill. Sorry.
but yeah. Overall, I mean, thoughts on TennoCon and
Not a lot of games have their own convention, right? So we have BlizzCon, we
which would probably be
have
the, well, I'd say QuakeCon, but that kind of
Quake
generalized as well.
QuakeCons, yeah, and
That
then
became like a BlizzCon.
yeah, and then we have this TennoCon. I don't really know of any other ones,
Doesn't
but
Final Fantasy do one? I remember when we were doing the GBN thing, they were
possibly.
gonna go to something in Vegas at one point.
Okay, so possibly Final Fantasy. I'm not sure.
Or maybe it was
I
just
don't know.
XIV exclusively or something. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
but it's kind of cool. And it's very interesting. I don't know how many people went to this convention, but it's pretty cool to just see gamers come together and like enjoy a game that they play or a series or something like that, and just seeing a bunch of cool stuff that's coming up, which
Yeah.
is really cool. It's
In
kind of like old school BlizzCons, like back in the day where they didn't have a lot of different games, but like
cell
they
phone
had.
games.
Well, I'm not going there. I'm more like going like they had what WoW and StarCraft and
Yeah.
Diablo, and they're showing off all those types of games. It's like you can see the passion in game developers. You still see it now. Don't get me wrong.
Good save.
Just
Uh-huh.
just it's just it seems more commercial at
Oh yeah.
BlizzCon at this point. But yeah,
Well, I mean, they
that's
did all. I mean, to be fair, TennoCon also did have sponsorships. They showed the Corsair
yeah.
stuff. They had,
Well, I mean,
what was
yeah,
it,
sure.
Xbox, Sony, or Microsoft, Sony. But because they did like a quick thank you to their sponsors. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, that's
it's
fair, right? Because I consider it's hard to. It's like the digital streams and Warframe. It's kind of like they have Warframe in between, like that. They're like on the cusp of AAA. You know what I mean? But like they
mm,
still feel
well,
indie
and
at the
that's the
same
thing.
time.
A lot of people say it's like that because they always refer to themselves as like the indie studio, and so does like media and stuff. But you usually always see the like first couple comments of like, they make all this money, they do all this, they have this many people. It's like, can we really categorize them still as an indie studio type thing? Which I honestly don't know if
Yeah,
there
I
is
don't.
a definitive number, or because I think they are technically owned by a different company. So that would, but see, that also gets muddied because what is it? Hello Games is an indie studio that was
Mhm.
basically owned by Sony as their publisher, and so
Yeah,
it's
double A like Hellblade. Yeah, it's like on the cusp of it, but like still like it just has that indie vibe to it. So I
kind
don't
of like
know.
where you're gonna go if you win the contest in space. You're not going to space. I mean, technically you are, but you're not on Earth still. Like you're somewhere in that.
What is it? The
Maybe
method, the different
what's
layers
that?
of. What would I look up?
Oh,
Layers of space, layers of atmosphere.
but
I'm trying
yeah.
to remember.
Once again, I think awesome, awesome job. Like I said, I think it not only met but totally surpassed my expectations. I mean, I think we were joking when they were showing off that contest to go to space. I'm like, now that's a contest.
That
No
was a
offense to the other
contest.
games that I play, but it's like, hey, win a gaming laptop that's themed after. No, they're taking you to space, kind of space. They're putting you in a rocket, kind
You'll
of.
be able to see
Like,
Earth very well. I assume.
you'll have to let us know if it's flat or not.
Dear Lord, I saw that tweet thread today
Oh, was there? I didn't even know that.
by Gaumi. I'm like, dear Lord.
Uh,
I won't get into it. That's crazy. All right. But yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. It's like Warframe's pretty cool, Digital Scream's pretty cool, and it looks like they're a cool studio who puts out awesome content and enjoys what they do, and it shows.
yeah, and yeah, thank you, Chad. I mean, I know we were talking about this with some people when we were watching the actual live stream on Saturday. Was you know if you're able to play it, definitely try hopping in. I know a couple people in the past that I'm like, oh, I was starting, Warframe. I know a couple
Hmm.
people that said they actually get motion sickness or something like that. Which, if those are the reasons, I can understand that. That's
Oh, We forgot to mention, when you're on the Railjack,
Oh
they
yeah,
have motion sense, like they have
it
a
moves
gyroscope type
with
of deal,
itself. Yeah,
so that like you
definitely
don't get
smart.
motion sickness, which is really nice.
Yeah, good point. I completely forgot
Yeah,
about that, but
I forgot
yeah,
about
that's
it too.
definitely a smart chain or idea. But yeah, it's just one of those games that seems like it's just getting better and better. And I mean, barrier to entry. I mean, it's free to play. I think I've seen people say in the past, and maybe I'm sure people watch. There'll probably be an argument about it because I've seen the talk of recently with the loot boxes and clean games and whatnot. But I
Hmm.
think I saw someone comment saying like it's nice because Warframe doesn't have loot boxes and all cosmetic. I'm like they
Oh,
they kinda have loot boxes, but you can earn them very easily in game. Like the relics
yeah,
are kind of that way, but you can buy relic packs. They used to have a loot box s thing to give you random mods. They
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 took that
changed
out.
those recently, which is good. But
They
you know,
have mod packs too.
well, they now they have mod packs that are like, hey, if this is your game style, here are these sets of mods that you're gonna get. Like it's a definitive thing. They used to be mod packs that were random,
Oh, I
but
see, I
they
see.
switched them out for those. But I was gonna
Wow.
say, yeah, they actually, I probably because no one. That was the first thing I think I've got as advice when I started playing was people were like, don't buy those. Like, so I'm wondering how much they were like, you know what, we're making no money on this. We might as well as a good, and the worry was people were like, this could trick people, like make people believe that they should buy it. So it's probably also a good thing for new players. But
That's cool. I like that. Oh, wow.
oh, okay. And apparently, chat's saying they've also mentioned removing the relic packs for cash because it's such a bad value. Uh, well, if that's the case, then yeah, then it would be. As far as I'm aware, that's the only
Yeah.
other thing that you could theoretically get. But like I
I've
said,
never,
if you would buy them, that it's ridiculous to buy them because you can get them so easily just by playing the
yeah,
game.
I've never really considered buying relics whatsoever.
Yeah.
Uh, just because I just play and I have so many, like, I didn't even, I have like 40 something, and I've like, I was just playing the game. So,
But yeah. So well, if that is the a future change, I mean, good on them, and that'd be another way to capitalize on. I think the tremendous outpouring that I think they're going to be getting in the next couple months, especially leading up to this launch. I mean,
hmm,
like I said, with all that outside advertising, they're gonna. I think they're gonna get a lot more eyes on them. Which, oh boy.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah. Ultimately, I think if you made it through this far, do remember this is going to be a bi-weekly. And I know before the internet gets on me, bi-weekly in the sense of every other week, not bi-weekly in the sense of 2 times a week. Why did the English language do that? I don't know, but that is a story for another time. Um, but yeah, that is it for this week. So we'll not be back this Tuesday, but the following, which would put us at the July 23rd. Uh, Twitch.tv/Mad Realms, 2 A's in the Mad. Um, we the way this is gonna go is we do it on Tuesdays. It'll go up on our website on Wednesdays and probably release fully on YouTube, visible in the inbox on Thursdays. So if if you miss it on Tuesdays, to get it sooner, yeah, can go to our website, Mad Realms, 2 A's in the Mad, .com. But yeah, so Age, where can they find you?
I can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Each Night Road. Probably farming more relics this week. Um, I guess other Warframe related stuff I might try to farm for Wukong, but if I find I don't have much time in the next month or so, I'll probably just buy it outright.
Ooh,
I'll also be
money
kind of
bags.
leveling frame up. I'm just gonna be honest, leveling frames, leveling weapons I have, and trying to get that mastery level up. And then I'll be, doing quests along the way. Just trying to understand how this game works. So yeah,
Like I've said in the past, as telling people, that's what I liked about Guild Wars 2 and Warframe is I think if you want to get the most people, say you're returning or new or need advice type of thing on your Twitch thing, right now that's probably the best demo or the best new player experience. Like when I did that, I had so many kind people giving me advice, telling me about all the did you add this free code? Did you like for a free sword or this and that and all that type stuff. So I think that sometimes is I know not everybody can easily stream, but right now I feel like that's the best new player experience is being able to stream like that. But just because the Warframe community is so helpful in that sense. But yeah, you can find me at simply_Deo on Twitch and Twitter. Hopefully now that this is up and running, I'll have time to actually play a video game. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it'll probably be Warframe. If Guild Wars 2 comes out with a story, I'll probably play that. But yeah, my Hydroid should be finished. My Hydroid Prime should be finished
Oh,
by this
my
time.
Zephyr
So
is ready. Yeah.
I gotta get my Space Pirate ready for and also do my Nightwave since I've been missing those. All that. Oh, Free Sword is gone. Oh, that's so sad.
I kind of wanted that. Oh well,
Oh, it's
I
a
will
Heat
live.
Sword. Yeah, you can easily get it. But yeah, that is it for this week. And enjoy our little outro we made up. So take care, everybody. Good night.
Peace.
Farewell, Tenno. Until we meet again.